Welcome everyone who's watching this video and watching this interactive session and hearing along with that. This is the guest today that we have is Miss Taniya Jain. She's a special educator, and this is what I know the best about her. Rest, I'll let Miss Taniya explain what does she do and where does she do it, and what's her day-to-day job is like.
Myself, Taniya Jain, and I am a special educator and a counselor at AmeeSchool Rohini. And I have been working in this field around 3.5 years. Yeah. And I hope that I would be catering to more students, special needs students in the future too. And that's all. Yeah.
So Taniya, Miss Taniya, how do you recognize a student with special needs? Like, what do you observe? Does the subject teachers guide you that this is the child or the student who needs a special education teacher? Or is it that you have things with you that you observe and recognize those things, those students with special education needs?
Actually, we have a checklist prepared in the school, and we give it to the class facilitators, and we ask them to observe the child for at least a week. There's an observation checklist for a week. The facilitators are being given, and every subject we ask the facilitator to do that. So all subjects we get it together, and then we observe that, and when we go through that, what all issues are being we are facing or the teachers are facing in the class, and then we ask. Then we have a session with the parent, and then the things go on further, and then we ask them to get the child assessed. There's a psychological assessment that goes on, and on the basis of that result comes what the child is facing. Either child is learning disabled, or else the child is autistic, and very few behaviors are like very typical. If I take an example of an autistic child, so autistic child does not mix an eye contact. Any autistic child, none of the autistic child will have an eye contact with the other person. And otherwise, mostly in the mainstream schools these days, we have learning disabled children. As might you have heard, dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia.
So why is that this thing? What you mentioned first, the autistic child. Why is autistic child considered in a special need, and why is dyslexia considered as a disabled needs student? So, is there any method or any criteria that we follow for that?
No. Autistic and learning disabled are all learning. They all come under the term disability. Right. And learning disabled is basically the child faces difficulty in reading, writing, or in mathematical calculations. Whereas if I talk about autistic child, he or she would be having very typical behaviors. Some of the behaviors would be very typical. Like if I keep a pen on a notebook in a way, if it's kept horizontally, the child likes to keep it horizontally. And if I by chance keep that pen vertically, the child might get irritated, and I would observe many behaviors he or she would display that way.
Okay, so let's say in a typical school of 2,000 students, how many students have a probable this thing, learning disability or need of special education? What percentage or what number of students out of 2,000 require these kind of attention?
Okay. At present, if I consider in my school, if I talk about, there are 15 to 20%.
Oh, that's a huge number.
Yeah, and that might be more because if I consider the whole school, from
of course I'm talking about those schools. Yeah. That's the reason I said that if we say around 2,000 students, 20% would need that. That's around 400 students being handled by the special education department within the school.
Yeah, actually, some of the children, they are learning disabled, but if like parents have this thing in mind, 10th class ke baad, I don't want that my child should be named as a disabled child, or the disability name should be there on the 12th mark sheet or 10th mark sheet. So mostly they prefer getting the extra time facilities or provisions and exemption from subjects. So they would not ask for any special education sessions. Otherwise, for other students till 9th standard, we are taking special education sessions in the school.
So let's say, students with need of special education are there. but due to like the stigma in the society and all these kind of things, they tend to avoid being on the records.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that makes your role in the school itself a very major one, because you need to coordinate with different classes, different subjects, and do everything.
And talking to parents and like motivating them, encouraging them is really a very difficult task.
Okay.
Convincing a parent that you should get the child assessed is really very important.
Well, then I must say teachers in the special education sphere are really doing an amazing job, and they are handling so much and interacting with the parents also on a very regular basis.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So, Ms. Tani, tell me one thing. What if by the use of technology, you get to assist, and you get assistance from the technology, I would say, in terms of like if AI systems or emotion recognition systems could identify these patterns early on in the education, and then provide you with the feedback. And along with that, as you definitely work with the special education students of particular subjects as well, you can also identify patterns in those, that this is the topic which the teacher might need to explain again, and all these kind of things. So you can facilitate that thing as well, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, with AI, we can do that.
And
that would really help the subject facilitators also.
Yeah.
It would be really very helpful for subject facilitators.
Okay, it will be really, really helpful for the teachers, basically, other teachers.
All subject facilitators. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And along with that, if we equip, if we as an organization, equip these special educators in the schools, that means there are easily 2 to 3 special educators in the school, I believe.
Yeah, approx.
Yeah. So if we train those teachers in reading data and how to analyze the data, how to read patterns, then they can be one of the best experts being in the school of each and every subject, if they need to deal with the child psychology.
Okay, that would be really great and helpful for us as special educators.
Not bad. Like, you can seriously make a difference using all the things that's available around you. Absolutely. And you can actually take the learning curve a bit higher. Like, you can actually make the students learn more and take them to the next level.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also focus on skill building for students. We don't focus mainly on the learning part, but we focus more on the skills first. Because if the child will have the skills developed very well, then the child will automatically be on the track of learning and gaining knowledge.
Right. And if through various data points we could assist you that the analytical skills of this student is much more better than the logical skills and all these kind of things, then it would be much easier for you, and you would make it much easier for the teachers of the rest of the subjects to deal with the student in a much efficient manner.
Right.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, Ms. Taniya, as I went through your history and your records about your journey throughout your life, I got to know that you were very much involved with music in your school time.
Yeah, I was a great lover of music, and I joined music around in 6th standard, I can say.
Oh, that's pretty early.
I was selected with and I was there in the choir group of our school. And there we I went into many state level competitions, and we had won various positions also, and it was a really very good journey.
So did you think of taking it as a serious career option at that time? Did that thought cross your mind?
No, not as a serious career option, but yeah, in college, in my graduation, again, there was a music society, so I joined that also, and I was a good part of that. And we were going to other colleges, and for other occasions, we used to in the college itself, we used to have sessions around, and we used to have quintessence basically.
Okay.
In Lady Oak College, we used to have quintessence. That's an annual festival, so we used to plan up for that, and various things used to be add on for that purpose also.
Okay, so going by the time that you said that you entered the music thing, entered learning music basically in class 6th, and then you went on till your graduation. So that's 10 years of learning and being involved with music. Still, the thought of pursuing music as one of the career or the main career didn't cross your mind?
No, not as to like as a profession. I was not thinking in that way.
Mm-hmm. But any specific reason for that?
First, I wanted to pursue my graduation, and during the graduation, when you enter Delhi University, there was a really hype that Delhi University, Delhi University. So when I entered that, and I was also in that, like what I say, that environment
Atmosphere,
of
yeah.
like being very happy and enjoying the time and attending the classes also, or every time, and then the fun time was there, and exploring various things in the college because we were new to that college, so exploring things in the
Of
college
course,
itself.
of course.
So that's why I didn't think of like pursuing music. And side by side, I used to cater to some students who are not special needs. So I would teach the students of 7th and 8th standard maths and science.
So basically, you
So
used to
that
take
was
tuition
a very
classes
nice.
while you were in the graduation. You used to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
tuitions
In
while
the
you were in the
evening, I used
graduation.
to, yeah, absolutely. In the evening, I used to take.
Well, the thought or I would say the idea of teaching was already there with you since graduation. You just turned it into
Yeah,
your profession
since
in the special
like
education.
you can say since 9th or 10th, I was into like I would pursue teaching as a profession
Okay,
for
okay,
future.
okay. So, Ms. Tanya, tell me one thing. As we are aware, and you also would be aware, that the new education policy has come up by the government of India. And there
Right.
are various options that have opened up. Apart from the normal courses of science, commerce, and arts, now we have a bunch of vocational courses which will be certified, trained, skills will be developed, skill based education will be there. What are your thoughts for that?
First of all, NEP is really very good if I consider in terms of special needs students.
Okay,
Because if I consider the curriculum of the schools nowadays or till now, till the NEP is not implemented, they have a normal curriculum. Modifications are really very less. So
okay,
for special needs students, we really need to modify the syllabus according to their need and according to their level, basically.
okay.
So if I consider NEP 2020, it has really very good opportunities for special needs students. If they don't want to pursue other subjects, main subjects, they can pursue vocational courses. So I was really happy to listen about and see the vocational courses, and that would be really helpful for special needs students.
So basically, in the coming years, as you rightly said, that the students of special education needs will have a much wider pool of options to choose from. And as you being a special educator, you also have a very huge task in front of you because all this will be under your mentoring, under your teaching. So your role with the NEP 2020, your role will turn into a major one where you will be actually
Yeah,
guiding
my,
several of
my role would
students.
really transform, and I'm
Yeah.
ready to transform into as per NEP 2020.
So what do you look up to that? Like how would you like to contribute to that transformation as an educator? What would you like to contribute to the system?
First of all, I would like to get the training, the correct training, because the education system has really transformed like
And I believe,
360 degree.
yeah, and I believe the government has already like focused a lot in the NEP 2020. The government is focusing a lot on the faculty training programs because, of course,
Yeah,
you need to equip the teachers to handle such big population in the
absolutely.
country.
So
Yeah.
training
So
the
yeah,
staff really very important first. Then only we can cater to the needs of students, and we can
rightly said.
understand what is the curriculum for students in that way.
And training in what particular zones, like technical training, use of technology, use of special psychometric tools, use of special analysis that might be provided to you.
Right,
So
right,
what all
right.
training does a special educator teacher needs in the forthcoming years of NEP 2020 and all that?
First of all, the skill development, and then the vocational courses also, because sometimes if the teacher teaching the vocational course, that particular vocational course is not able to handle the child at that time. So if I would be a special educator at that time, so I can handle the child at that time. And many times it happens with special needs students that they they understand more, much better and well with only one teacher. They get attached to one teacher. Emotional attachment is too much with special needs students,
Right.
and we really need to have that, because then only the child with special needs, they open up and the rapport is being built up.
Right.
First of all, we need to know the child very well in every area, in every scenario, in every condition, and then only we can work with that child.
As we were discussing that NEP has a lot of prospect for the special educators, and your role would be a much major one in the coming years. Right. So, Ms. Tani, this was a very fruitful conversation that I had with a faculty of a prominent school in Delhi. And along with that, you provided us with a very good insights about what the future holds like, and what are the responsibilities and what needs of the special educator would be in the coming years to come. Great.
Right. And it was great.
It was. Thanks for your time, and thank you for being on this conversation. And it was a pleasure having you on this thing, on our session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.